How do you get the team prepared going into the playoffs this week?
Well, the guys are motivated. We have so far 2 good days of practice, yesterday and today, then 2 more days to get ready for Saturday game. It's going to be very interesting. So playoff game also with motivation to be ready.
You guys have been, I know you always like to say, we're working hard and creating good chances. The results obviously hadn't quite been there until this last weekend. You get, 5 goals. How has that improved the sort of confidence maybe that you've seen from the players this week? Have they seemed to have a little more, energy, a little more excitement perhaps from that?
Yeah. They're very excited, and also to find out that there is different ways to score goals. We scored 3 out of the 5 on set pieces. Top forward scored a goal, and then just putting pressure, putting there. A lot of guys on the backs with runners. We forced the error, and they scored their own goal. So just find a way to score goals. That's the only way. Not only leave that duty to our forwards. Everybody can contribute. Everybody can be in the score sheet.
Building off of talking about the set-piece goals, I know you mentioned part of why you did that is you saw El Paso wasn't exactly the biggest team. Taking a look through New Mexico's roster, it looks like they might be a little taller, have a little more height on their side. So I assume you're probably not necessarily going to be favoring that as much, but you've picked out some other weaknesses that they have that you can exploit different from El Paso?
No, they're a strong team. They're a very good team. We already played them 3 times. They move the ball well on the ground, but also they have a weak side. So something that we're working on, and we try to exploit on Saturday. So we see hopefully that can work. So, but overall, we consider them a very tough opponent and a very good team. So we need to be in the same page. This year, all the 3 games that we play against them were kind of 50-50 games. So we just need the result in our favor.
And having seen them 3 times already this year, you've scouted them, you've played them in June, July, September. How have you seen them, and now obviously playing them in November, how have you seen them evolve? How have you seen their style, their play, all that?
Well, things change with time, Even us, we were different than compared with the first time that we played then. We play a little bit different. They play a little bit different. They have new faces on the lineup. So every game is different. Even if we played then last week, every game is different and bring his own moment. So we just consider the last couple of games they play, and we consider the last couple of games that we play to go to this Saturday playoff.
And speaking of the last couple games they've played, I know earlier in this season it looked like they were one of the more defensively sound teams, but they've conceded, I think, 7 goals in their last 3 matches, only kept 1 clean sheet in the last 8. So Luke was saying it was maybe just them taking more risks and getting punished for it as they do that. So what is your assessment? Are they more defensively vulnerable? Or?
Yeah, but they're very strong in the attack. They're very attacking-minded team. They like to, when they're in the final third, they like to put a lot of players up front. And obviously, when a team does that, they're taking risks in the back, because if you're going to put at least 7 guys in the box, in the position box, that means you have only 3 guys to cover the rest of the field. So it's a risk, So it's about us, if that's the case, how we're going to take advantage of that spaces that they leave behind.
And so what has been the emphasis to the team this week in preparing for New Mexico in the playoffs? Any one emphasis that any one point you emphasized to the team?
No, not to let them get confident, especially the guys in the middle. That the game goes through those guys. They're very comfortable turning and playing forward passes. So make sure they deny the ball to those guys in the middle.
And playing on the road, a playoff game at their place, what are the things your team will need to do to stay in the game and towards the end get the victory?
Be consistent. That's the only one I can say. Until the final whistle, game is not over. So I say it doesn't matter how the score is. If we're down on the score, be consistent. We scored against Tampa with 10 seconds left. If we winning, be consistent. Continue playing defense until the final whistle. for 90 and plus minutes to be consistent, not to make those bad moments lately in the season we did. So make sure we have a consistent game as a team.
What separates playoff football into regular season football?
Well, just the meaning that it won't be tomorrow, won't be a second chance, you know. We lost and we know that we're off for the season. So that's the difference. Regular season, you go there, whether you win or you lost, you have another opportunity following week. This time it's going to be different.
And you speak about consistency all season long. And how do you kind of carry that energy from winning Copa Tejas into now this like win or lose setting?
Well, having the momentum, having the same group of guys, make sure showing video when we perform, when we go together, how good we look. So that way.
And what's your message to the team before the first whistle?
Time of glory, you know. My advice today, and as a former player, this is the game that we soccer players enjoy the most, you know, because now we are in the top 8 of the conference to compete for the cup. As a professional athlete, nothing better than lifting a cup. So make sure they fight for that. They go 100% every single game.